Perhaps my favorite moment in the Marriage of Figaro is toward the end of the opera at the Act 4 finale. There's this silence before the Count, in an amazing about-face, in front of everybody, falls on his knees and asks his wife for forgiveness. Most people, having seen how this guy has behaved throughout this opera, would be very reluctant to forgive him. Yet the Countess does forgive him, and that is sort of the miracle of the Marriage of Figaro. It's kind of one of those cathartic, inspiring moments in the theater. I don't think there's a parallel in all of opera.
One of the things I love maybe most about doing opera is that the music is always the constant. This music has been played and performed for decades, sometimes centuries, and the amount of people that have been exposed to it is astounding. The beauty of opera to me is that I get to be part of that history, which is sort of humbling and really gratifying all at the same time.
Leave the theater having experienced a lot of things, but I think what ultimately you take away from this show is optimism, compassion, and joy.
Right where the trumpets come in at the Act 2 finale. 1, 2.
The music is where you get most of your information, regardless of what's really on stage visually.
Mozart is a really special composer. It's a name that everyone knows, that everyone can identify with or probably hum a melody to. But Mozart is one of those composers that the more that you give, the more that you dive into the music, into the instrumentation, into all of the little fine, tiny details, the more that you get out of it.
The Marriage of Figaro is pretty much one of the first pieces that I started working on as a student of opera. The Act 2 finale is really interesting. It starts as a solo, and then it becomes a duet, and then it becomes a trio, and then it becomes a quartet, and then a quintet, and a sextet, until you get to the end of the finale and there's 7 people singing at once. The Marriage of Figaro is one of the best operas ever written, and every company does it at some point. And so far, every company I've worked at has done it. So it's fun that now I get to do it here at Opera Santa Barbara as well.
Why is it so important? Because it's that good. I mean, the Act 2 finale of Mozart is one of the greatest things ever written, and the Act 4 finale is one of the most beautiful, sincere moments of forgiveness and chaos and all of this stuff all kind of at once, and it's Shakespearean in scope for me.
Mozart, and then especially the 3 Da Ponte operas, are musical Shakespeare. Mozart gives singing actors stage directions in his musical dynamics. When he tells you to sing piano, there's a dramatic reason.
One of my favorite quotes about the Marriage of Figaro is from the legendary stage director Jean-Pierre Ponel. Mozart in the Marriage of Figaro summarized the human condition, and we bravely try to squeeze his universe onto the stage. It is really true that every aspect of humanity is in the characters and the plot of the Marriage of Figaro. It is an astonishing musical construction. It's a miracle of musical architecture. It's just really a technical miracle. The genius of Mozart is in every note.
Sono tre stolidi? That's what I'm crossing, yeah.
Okay.
Sono tre stolidi, tre pazzi. Cosa mai vengono a fare? Cosa mai vengono a fare?
Come on in.
Pianganin senza
So
schiavare.
gently counter the three of you while he comes in. Yep.
So I'll cross all the way
Great.
to center.
Dica ognuno quel che gli par, dica ognuno quel che gli par. Tutto in ordine deviamo.
Then we'll have just a little trio. Son confuso.
In the room, I will come in with a map of this scene. I like to imagine it like a jungle gym. I will show them the jungle gym. I will give them certain places on the jungle gym that I hope they will get to, and then say, go play. This is my first Marriage of Figaro. I think I'm one of the few on this production. I think there are a couple role debuts, and it is also my directorial role debut. This is a big opera. When I start a process, I know the world of the play and the characters' lives more than they do. We reach a part in the process where they start to know their characters much better than I do.
Our company hasn't done The Marriage of Figaro in over 12 years, I believe. This production happened specifically because I wanted this group of people to work together in the cast of this opera. Back in 2022, we did a production of Handel's Semele set in the 20s. I called Sarah Widzer and Yuki Sumihara and I said, I'd like to create a new production of Figaro that is going to build on all the virtues of Semele.
We are doing a production of The Marriage of Figaro set in the 1930s in Spain, on a boat. Well, an ocean liner. Set design and projections are influenced by the Art Deco period, so are the colors.
I have never seen a Figaro on a boat before. The contained nature of being on a vessel in the middle of the ocean really heightens the drama because you just cannot get away from each other. So much of what happens in this show is these characters being in these intimate spaces and the drama and intense interaction that that creates.
Whenever we are learning about opera, The Marriage of Figaro is one gigantic piece that we always learn about. A story that everybody throughout the ages can relate to.
The Marriage of Figaro is always a journey for the audience.
One of the things that really strikes me with this particular production is that so many of our principal singers have come through the Chrisman Studio Artist Program, and I've gotten to know them, and it is wonderful to see them in these leading roles and really blossoming and coming to life.
Everyone is bringing such extraordinary ideas, extraordinary voices to this music.
This season, Costis and I decided to expand and to rethink our Christmas Studio Artist Program. We decided let's really invest in the artists that we've already given attention and time and resources to. And so that spurred the concept for The Marriage of Figaro being a Christmas Studio Artist production. And so almost everyone on the stage is either an alumni of our Christmas Studio Artist Program or of a young artist age in California. And to see them getting their time in the spotlight is really special. I think the audiences are going to be really blown away by the talent that we have right here in Santa Barbara.
This is a role debut for me, which means that the preparation going into it is a little different than heading into reprising a role that I've done in the past. Cherubino is one of those iconic roles for a mezzo-soprano. This opera is done a lot, and many of us have had the experience with Cherubino, so I am excited to join the club of Cherubini at this point.
I've been coming to Opera Santa Barbara for so many years. It was the first real professional opera company that I ever came to work for outside of a young artist program. Then my wife Christina and I, after we got married in 2019, moved to Santa Barbara. It's our joy to get to sing with this company all the time.
My relationship has been varied with Opera Santa Barbara for a long time. So I started out as a Christmas studio artist. Then I actually worked on the admin side as an intern for about a year, which was amazing. Opera Santa Barbara means the world to me. I constantly say I probably would not be singing anymore if it weren't for Opera Santa Barbara.
This company is without a doubt the most important company in my artistic ethos and life and growth.
Opera Santa Barbara has quite literally become a home for me. My husband and I moved here during the height of the pandemic when I was supposed to be a young artist for the season, and Christie's called me and he said, you know, I can't guarantee that if you come out here you'll get a whole lot of performing, but we will train you, we will give you some place to stay, it's a beautiful location, and if we can do a show, we will do a show. To have someone who said that to me at a time when the arts were in such trouble was so incredibly important. And it's been a company that's been such an amazing launching point for me.
The thing that makes OSB special is the people. We're small but mighty. When you take a small group of very hardworking, very passionate, like-minded people that work towards the same common goal, something really magical can happen.
I believe Santa Barbara is the smallest city in the United States with its own opera company.
We are a small team. We are mighty, but we are small. It means wearing a lot of hats every single day.
I had the great opportunity to come aboard Opera Santa Barbara as an intern for Carmen. I have loved working here, being a part of this team. Everyone has been so kind and gracious to me and has just been patient and have really taken me under their wing. I feel like I've been very encouraged to be kind of a sponge here.
What I love about working at Opera Santa Barbara is it has really expanded my worldview of the art form. It's given me so many opportunities to do a little bit of everything. What really impresses me about Opera Santa Barbara is that we are a fairly small team and a lower budget than some of the companies that I've worked for, but the quality of the work across the board has been so high.
Our aesthetic tends to be lean, shows that are less complex in terms of the scenery, but there's a lot of emphasis on storytelling, interpretation, great singers.
What doesn't an arts administrator do? I think we do a little bit of everything, which is one aspect I love about the job. You show up and there's a new thing to do, there's a new problem to fix, a new solution to find every single day.
Being a lighting designer, it's both technical and artistic. My job is to provide the atmosphere for the piece on stage.
The job of the rehearsal pianist is really to try to imitate as best we can the orchestra in the rehearsal room. It's a pretty interesting job because your priorities as a rehearsal pianist are different than if you were playing a solo piece, for example. You still have a lot of control over what you do, but as a rehearsal pianist, you are imitating an orchestra who's following a conductor. So you're not necessarily performing your own interpretation. Your priorities are different. You need to make sure you're completely with the conductor. For some people, it's very difficult. You have to almost tune out what's happening on stage because sometimes they might be behind or ahead and you have to be right with the conductor. So it's a little bit tricky at first to get a handle of things. In my capacity here, I'm also the chorus master. A chorus master essentially prepares the chorus for any opera, so that involves involves teaching them the music, giving them interpretation.
I get to do a little bit of everything. We're a smaller team, so we're mighty, but we do just a lot of different things and we all kind of help out when we can. I work in marketing, so I do a lot of our graphic design. I also do our social media. I record videos of production and our team and events that we host. I help out with things in production time. I get to work under Helena and I get to do things like lead our load-ins and load-outs and drive the U-Haul and pack things up and bring them to the theater and make sure everything gets there on time, and just get to be a part of a bunch of different departments in our company, which has been really fun because I've been able to learn a lot through everyone on our team.
A company is made by the people who work and dedicate their love and passion.
This is an amazing group of people doing so much with so little.
The reason to be here, the way to add something to our community is to produce amazing art. The art we produce is intended to be a source of joy and inspiration to those in our community who experience it. At the same time, for me, very high priority is that what we do is a joy and inspiration to the people who work here as well, and that includes our team, our artists, our volunteers, our board members. Equally important to me as producing great art is that Opera Santa Barbara be a great place to work.